My guest today is a professional poker player from Seattle. He competed in the World Series of Poker main event and has lived and played competitive poker internationally. I'm excited to welcome Jordan Westmorland.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's all the cameras now. We get the full setup. Hopefully we don't lose any video on this episode.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I was forced to have to shave before this.
yeah, you came in a little. I didn't give you the heads up about the camera stuff.
No,
so.
fluffy is what this girl described me as yesterday at the teriyaki place.
That's great.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Good. You just got back from Vegas?
I did. Yeah. A month and a half in hell.
It's what I guess that was what, July or mid-June to August, basically?
Yeah. So it was the first week of June all the way to mid. No, sorry. I went. Wow, I wasn't there 2 months, was I? No, because it ends July 17th. Okay, yeah. So first week of June to July 17th.
Was it World Series of Poker?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, Vegas in the summertime, there's nothing fun about it.
No, it's scary.
You just go from AC to AC location.
Yeah, you can't be outside.
Where were you? Were you living at doesn't he usually stay at the
Vidara?
Yeah.
So I went early with a really good friend of mine from Australia, and we were crashing in Bally's, which is we were calling it the dust bin.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of creatures are at Bally's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
That's right on that one corner, right?
Yeah, so it's Paris and then Bally's. They split the WSOP this year. So it's nice to have it on the Strip. Rio is pretty brutal, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Rio's
it was
way
bad.
out. So I used to live down there.
Oh, okay.
After college, I went down there and worked for Canner Gaming.
What is that?
The sports gaming, they did the sports book at where were all the locations? The M sports book is a Canner Gaming book.
Okay.
That's down the M Resort. That's like south of the Strip.
Right.
And then they contracted for a bunch of, I can't even remember, Aria.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when the tablets were happening for sports books?
Yeah.
That was them. They were the first person to do real-time betting.
Oh, was that MGM?
I think they had MGM too.
Okay.
But this was 2011.
Right.
I mean, and I spent the summer down there, and dude, it is a weird look. Poker's the only thing that's really happening in the summer, right?
Well, they have all these random conventions as well.
That too, yeah.
So
technology conventions, super weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a strange. I guess Vegas. What, New Year's, and what are the big times of the year?
Well, 4th of July. That's a fun time to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get any? Did you do anything fun while you were down there?
Yeah, I mean, we because there's so many people from around the world that play poker that come to this. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like an adult summer camp.
Okay.
Everyone gets together. You haven't seen people in years, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we had planned this night at Access, which nightclubs are pretty shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when you're with 50 people that you haven't seen in a while, it's really fun.
What ended up happening?
Well, we ended up getting a cabana, and you spend like 5 G's and you're out in the boonies. It's really weird. We weren't even near the music.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got roped into that.
That's pretty rough, dude.
Yeah, it is.
And then you're going back to stay at Bally's too.
Right.
God damn.
Yeah.
I forgot to say at the beginning of this episode, we're going to be covering a bunch of stuff today. Jordan has played poker all over the world, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like, share, subscribe button, the notifications bell so you don't miss our content. And then if you're listening, rate and review us wherever you're listening. So let's go back a little bit.
Sure.
When did you start playing poker?
So when my parents divorced, my dad moved to Mill Creek.
Okay.
And
which is in Washington.
Right.
Yeah.
So mom was in Mukilteo, dad moved to Mill Creek, and my neighbors, who today are still some of my best friends, introduced me to their group of friends. And I was really curious about this kid driving an Audi. And I was like, who is this guy? And did his parents buy him that? And they're like, no, that's Joel Mika. And
who has been on this podcast.
Yes, he has. A very close friend.
If you haven't heard that episode, go back. I can't. I'll have the producer throw the show notes in, but Joel is how I met Jordan.
Right.
Early, like, how old was he at the time?
So he would have been grade 12. I was grade 10. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a 2-year gap there.
Okay.
Right.
And you're like looking up to this.
Well, yeah.
He didn't have the Hummer at the time?
No, this is real old school days.
Pre-Hummer.
Pre-Hummer.
Okay.
He's got an Audi. I'm so curious how he has it. And someone says he plays poker. I didn't know what poker was.
Okay.
But I was like, I would also like an Audi in high school. So I need to meet him.
Yeah.
And so it was a random Friday, and he was doing his thing in his mom's basement playing poker, and we all huddled up behind him to watch him. And I was just like in awe. I was like,
was it online?
It was online. I just couldn't believe like what was happening in front of me. And I was just
what did it look like though? Was it multiple monitors? Was it?
No, he just had one monitor, but he had all these games going, and the chips just kept coming his way. I was just like, how does he do this? Like, and so I bothered him all the time.
Yeah.
To learn from him.
And he's, a good person to learn from though, right? Like
well, watching him, not the best teacher.
Oh, no, definitely not the best teacher, but like it's not like he hoards information.
No, not at all. But like poker at that time period was a real feel thing. So it's hard for people to articulate sometimes why they do the things you do kind of thing. So
can you talk about that a little bit more? Because the market of poker has changed. I mean,
dramatically.
We're talking about what, 2005?
So yeah, if that is 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, nice.
Mental math.
Yeah, well played. You should be playing cards.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So like the market has changed dramatically, right?
It has, because of technology, because of the resources online.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay someone like $150, $200 a month for a coaching thing, and now you're a wizard like everyone else.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And what was it? You said it was more by feel at the time. Was there just like dumb money on the table most of the time?
Well, it was just that the game hadn't really evolved. So it was kind of, it was the Wild West. It was just, if you were the last guy to put a bet in, you were going to win, kind of thing. And unfortunately, the game has become more analytical. Mm-hmm. You've got these kids running sims and stuff, and it's just making the game a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sims as in like
simulations. So they plug in all of these situations that come up, and then it spits out a solution for like what's optimal against someone that plays game theory optimal GTO.
Okay.
Yeah.
God. When you got into playing poker, did you think you'd be talking about any of that shit?
No. My first account was, so my nickname is Bombay, it didn't fit Bombay Prodigy, so I was Bombi. Yeah. I was missing one letter.
Did you do the Prodigy just to copy?
Of course. I was just trying to copy it. I was just like, well, I'll get some street cred.
Yeah.
Well, if you go on sharkscope.com, Bombi Prodigy has a ginormous fish bowl next to it, and he's hopping out of the fish bowl, and everything is painted red. It's just down infinite. So
fish meaning
I was a massive losing player.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to bed with money in my account. I would just torch it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time then?
I was, when I got shown the way, I was like 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were eating shit
for years. I was
why
working
were you
at
so bad?
Well,
or not like, why were you eating shit?
Well, I was eating shit because I was overly aggressive to the point of trying to win every single hand. And you can't do that. Mixed in with no discipline, being a young kid. How many
times Joel had to just ripped you, making fun of you.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And I'd have to do really, really pathetic things to get a transfer. Because I was a kid working at a scuba dive shop. I was not making good money.
Yeah.
But I needed to be in the games.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So when he came on, he was like, it took over his life. He basically like barely graduated college or high school at the end. because I mean he started as an A student in high school and ended with like
maybe a 3.0.
Okay,
Yeah.
He may have exaggerated.
We'll give him solid B's.
Solid B.
Yeah.
But he like it took over his life, and there was just no real point of doing anything besides playing poker. What did your situation look like?
Yeah, so mine wasn't as streamlined as his. Mine was a little rockier. So I was losing from, 15, 16, 17 years old. And then they kind of taught me heads ups, and I kind of found that little groove, heads up being one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally decided that I needed to like lock down my account from everything else that I lose money in. And I put like a buy-in limit. So I could only play heads ups that were ranging from $20 to $50 as maximum.
Why was heads up better?
Well, in that time period, you could play like 100 to 200 heads ups in a day, one-on-one. And if you were deemed a professional or a regular, you only played bad players.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you had like a 10% ROI and you played 200 games a day over a month, that's
positive. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good win rate.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of what we all, that's our roots basically is heads ups. And,
okay.
And then that's what Joel got really good at.
More randomness or less randomness of the game? If there's like a table of 8 people versus like one-on-one.
Well, one-on-one, you can just exploit someone so much harder because you know their tendencies and it's just you and him kind of thing. And so when you have that skill set, it does really well once you get at the highest levels of heads up, because then you can take that ability into any format.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about, anyone watching, I'm not a poker player. I've always gotten along well with people that are into poker and like professionals, just because it seems to be with like my background in sports betting, like similarities. And I think that, poker players and comedians actually have some similarities too.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
We're all masochists.
Yeah. And it's also like, this degenerate type.
Yes.
Like you're playing against the odds. Like it's not.
You are, yeah. I'm supposed to lose when I sign up to work.
Yeah.
Statistically.
It's fucking crazy.
But when I do win, it should outweigh the losses.
When did when did you move international? Like how did that happen?
So I moved down to California after high school because I didn't want to go to a community college in Washington. I didn't have good grades either. But I knew that I needed to do that, I guess. So I was like, I'd love to go down to
scuba
SoCal.
shops down there.
Yeah, done with that. And I was just like, I don't know about you, but seasonal depression is real, and Washington is brutal.
Yeah, it's
and
really
I just
bad.
When the sun's out, like I just want to do things, and so I was like, my heart was like, I need to be in San Diego. So I moved down there, and I'm going to school. And
where'd you go?
San Diego City College.
Okay,
and I didn't like it really, but I loved being in San Diego, and I was doing heads ups on the side
in San Diego, or just California. It's like, I don't understand how anyone goes to class.
Oh, I know. I was that guy.
Yeah. You just didn't go.
No, I didn't go. I wasn't too motivated, but I was doing well in the heads ups because I was finally reining it in and actually keeping the money in the account for the first time ever. And it's just, I just need to be a little disciplined. That's all.
Yeah.
And so,
were you playing at night though? Or like how it's San Diego, like you were inside at a computer?
Oh, I would do everything in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would I'd experience how nice the day is there. I was like addicted to body surfing.
Okay.
Like that was my thing. Surfing is way too hard, but I could do it on my body. Just
wait. What did that look like? You just woke up in the morning and went like by yourself?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, when you're
I've never heard of anybody like
when you're poor, you have to get creative.
Yeah.
And the beach is free.
Yeah.
And I would go all the time.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, it was.
That's so funny. I mean, I did that with my brothers when we were like younger.
Sure.
But never like I've never.
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude.
Oh no.
So you were playing at night, and then
Yeah.
how long were you there till you made like the decision to move abroad?
So I came back home. So San Diego didn't work out. I was dating someone at the time, and that was here, and she also lived in San Diego. We had a breakup down in San Diego, and I was like, "Fuck, I need to go home. Like, I need to see my boys, my family.
Yeah.
I'm sad." I go back, and then I move in with Joey Lynn, Joel Micca.
This was the Mill Creek house,
Yes,
right?
this is the Mill Creek.
I've
Yes.
heard from multiple people about this house.
Yeah,
The poker house.
this was the poker house, and it was so good to be back with the boys, and now not being a fucking fishbowl and figuring out the game a bit more. So I was doing that for a while, and then I was like, I got to go back to college. So now I switch it up and go down to Orange County, and I went to Mission Viejo.
Okay.
And I loved it. It's finally, I applied myself in school. I'm doing well. Mind you, I was taking a movie class, a golf class. It was about as cake as it gets.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was
You were
finally
loving
doing it.
The
Yeah.
school was working.
Dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
So, but it was like April 11th or something called Black Friday.
Yeah.
Boom. The doors closed for online poker. And we're all freaking out. It's like, what the hell are we going to do kind of thing.
And you were still playing down there.
I was playing down there.
Yeah.
And so that was in April. And so we've had a few months to just kind of mull over what we're supposed to do. I come home for summer, and one of my other best friends, Patrick Curvell, he was going to UW. He actually got a perfect score on his SATs. Oh, the math portion. So the guy is just a whiz kid.
Yeah.
And he was super involved in poker as well. And we were at his fraternity live out, and we were pretty drunk, and we were on top of his roof. And we were just looking up, trying to ponder what we were going to do. And we are like, dude, let's just drop out of college, which is easy for the guy going to community college versus the guy that's going to a public Ivy school.
Yeah.
It's much bigger decision for him.
sure.
But we just were like, let's just do it. And just him and I just packed our bags like a week or two later, and we moved to Thailand.
Why Thailand?
So like my dad was a famous photographer who traveled around the world, and he was like, hey, like if you're going to do this, I would say you should do Thailand. It's cheap. The food is amazing. The people are amazing. That's where I would go. And so it was always kind of in the back of my head. I don't think he knew I was going to go to Thailand to become a professional gambler.
Yeah.
I don't think that was what he meant.
How'd you sell it? Just that you wanted to travel abroad?
Oh, I mean, I was honest with them, and I told them, and my mom thought I lost my mind. My dad was really pissed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. Parents are very results oriented though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Once you start doing well, they become your fans.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what did because Joel went too, right?
Yeah. So Patty and I went first, and then we talked it up, and then we got everyone to come out.
How was it when you got there?
Dude, it was insane.
How so?
Just, you're a teenager in this little bubble in America, and you completely have 180 to a completely different country.
The bubble that you're in Mill Creek, Washington,
Yes.
too, is a real ass
Pleasantville.
bubble. Yeah.
Now I'm in a third world country.
What were the biggest adjustments for you?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I read a couple articles with you online talking about Thailand and your experience, but it was all positive stuff. Like,
sure.
I want to hear some of the the surprising shit. And because I've been to China and Colombia, other places like that, but not Thailand is the Mecca for
it. It really is. And when you're in your young 20s, I couldn't recommend a better place, honestly. It was really special.
Yeah.
I guess for the adjustments would just be overall lifestyle. Everything is just so obtainable there. Like when you drive a scooter, you can have a beer in your scooter And so it's scary. Like
What was like a day in the life for you in Thailand?
day in the life, like just your standard day.
Yeah, like because I have to imagine the place you were living was when not cleaned professionally by someone.
Well, we had a live-in maid.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Wait, a live-in maid?
Yeah, so that we had this huge house, and then she had a house on the property behind the house.
Okay. Was anyone having relationships with that person?
No.
Okay.
She's an older, sweet lady.
Okay. But what time of the day are you waking up? Like, it's how many dudes are in this house?
Okay, so it was me, Joey, Alan, Piggy, Joel, Patrick, and then Ruck for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we had
7
visitors,
dudes.
and then we had visitors stay a long time. We had Dan Neal stay. We had Tim Jondal. We had just had a lot of people roll
Did
through.
anyone get married?
Yes, Ruck.
Of course. Yeah.
Ruck got married.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was a best friend of mine, and I just reconnect with him after not seeing him for 10 years. And he's back here now with his Thai wife, and he has a
So they
7-year-old
stayed
daughter.
together.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what was a day in the life for you and 6 dudes in their 20s in Thailand?
So on the 3rd level of this house that we were living in was our office. And we would all at different times be up there just grinding it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I had a weirder schedule because I started getting into tournaments. So, Joey and Patty and Joel all had the luxury of just like clocking in at 9 a.m., clocking out at 5, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Whereas I was on the night schedule and it was weird. Like I worked at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was because
The tournaments are always catered to the West Coast time zone.
okay.
Yeah. They
But
never
why couldn't you play the games they were playing?
because I wanted to go chase tournaments.
Okay.
And the passion for that.
Because it was bigger payoff or
It's the wins are bigger, the losses are bigger.
yeah. This
That's what
goes
I was
back to
looking
the
for.
fishbowl type thing.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I heard a story like when you were at that house about a bathroom.
Oh, before we lived in Thailand.
Oh, I didn't know that was in Milk Creek.
Oh yeah, this is desperate times when I'm needing
Oh, this was back in the scuba shop.
Yeah, this is desperate.
We don't have that on. Like, can you explain what your version of that story?
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got this bathroom the size of like an airplane bathroom, no windows, hardwood floors. It's a joke, and they're like, we don't think that you could stay in there for 2 days, and I'm like, light work, how much? And they're like, we'll give you $500. And I was like, all right, done. And so I stayed in the bathroom and did it.
Pitch dark, too.
Yeah. And then at one point, like 30 hours in, Joel was getting nervous I was actually going to do this. And he threw cherry scented smoke bombs or something underneath the thing. I mean, I don't know if they were smoke bombs, but he threw something and it like stunk the place up.
Oh shit. Did you have to come out?
No.
You stayed through?
I stayed through.
Didn't they, when they delivered you food, wasn't there like...
Well, they did it psychologically, so I didn't know what time of day it was. So I didn't know like when the food was coming, kind of thing.
I love that you say this so casually. Like, it's a completely...
It's fucked up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That is.
So how was the food delivered to you?
Well, it was just, I didn't know when... So in the 2 days, they wouldn't bring lunch at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like one day it might come at 11, the other at 2.
So you're like getting hungry. And you're like, what were you doing in there?
I did a lot of soul searching.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was trying to like work out in there, I think.
At any point did you think you needed a new group of friends?
No, that's the sad part. I was warped.
Yeah.
I was so warped.
So they paid you the 500?
They did. So I had this one crossroad. It was my last night in there, and I got pretty good at putting my ear to the floor, and I knew when people were going to bed. I just could sense it. And I had this moment where I heard the last door close of the master bedroom, and I'm like, I could really pop out right now and just go hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it never sat well with me, like if I were going to collect and do that. And so I just fell asleep. And
where'd you sleep?
I would curl myself up near the toilet kind of thing. I found it to be kind of comfortable on my back. So, yeah.
Was there a shower in there?
No.
Oh, okay. So it was just...
I mean, we're talking like a shoebox. This thing was the smallest bathroom ever. Yeah, it was a joke.
So you got the 500. How quickly did you burn through it?
I mean, that's the saddest part of the story. I lost it in hours, like a couple hours. It was gone. Just torched it. Yeah, not good.
But it got you to where you're at now.
Yeah, I mean, you need the pain and struggles.
You paying dues.
You have to.
So that was before Thailand, though.
It was.
You get to Thailand, you're doing tournaments.
Yep.
You're like, you guys had this upstairs. Like, how much of a master's class in poker was that for you?
Oh, I mean, once we made the decision to move abroad, like this was my everything. I got to a point where it was unhealthy how much of a workaholic I was, because I was obsessed and I really enjoyed what I was doing.
Do like drugs tend to go along? Like, I'm not asking you explicitly say for you, but like,
right.
I've heard a lot like Adderall, stimulants, like for poker guys, like you're sitting it's like playing baseball for like 12, 15 hours at a time, right?
A lot of people take amphetamines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it make you better or worse? Or
personally, for me, I don't do it.
Yeah.
Because the few times I have tried, I end up sitting out of all my games because I will obsess about figuring out the exact perfect thing to do. And you can't do that when you're in 12 to 16 tables.
So that was how many you were playing at a time?
Oh, I still do now. Yeah.
How do you do that? Is that pretty normal for...
You gradually build up. So typically 2 to 4 tables at once is pretty easy to do. And you just kind of expand from there.
Okay. What happens though to your win percentage as you do more tables? Does it go down?
Well, so anytime you go over, in my opinion, after doing this for over a decade, anytime you go over 12 tables, there's a lot of autopiloting. Okay. So what I've strategically done is the 4 either biggest buy-ins or the 4 best stacks all go in the middle for me.
Okay.
And that's where all my focus is. And then sometimes one of those tables, you get sucked out, you get cooler, whatever, and you lose it, then I'm going to strategically find the next best thing.
What does your screen look like?
It's full. It's just all tables.
Like, how big of a screen are you looking at?
32 inches, and then I'll have a laptop for overflow.
Okay.
Yeah.
God damn, that's wild.
Yeah, it is.
And how, you've been doing that for 10 years?
So tournaments now, I would say became a winning tournament player when I was 20, 21. Now I'm 32. So just over 10 years.
Have you had a normal job ever?
Yeah. So I worked door to door selling knives for Cutco.
Okay.
My last job was I worked at Zeke's as a pizza delivery guy.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's not true.
When was that?
Yeah. So that was the summer of my senior year, I think, of high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as an adult, have you had a professional job?
No.
Like poker has been.
No, yeah. I did a catering thing in California for a little bit. It was like party down or party up or something.
Yeah.
I lied to get the job.
What were your expenses in Thailand though? Like how, like
somehow we made it to be the most expensive place in the world because we were the biggest blasters. Like,
what'd you do?
Dude, we were playing, there was this golf course that was 250 US around, and we were playing there like 3 days a week.
Okay, so $750 a week.
Well, and then you got to pay the caddies.
Yeah,
all this stuff. Like we were completely delusional about the value of money.
Yeah,
yeah, it was bad.
What, like realistically, somebody living that lifestyle, like what is a range of what they could be making a year, like low to high end.
Are you talking about in that time period?
In that time period.
In that time period, you could conservatively make 150, 200K a year.
Okay. That probably doesn't warrant like even $750 a week at the golf course, right? Plus expenses.
Right.
But you guys were all young and...
Yeah, we were just moronic.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
And were you guys gambling in addition to the poker?
Well, that's the nice thing. In Thailand, they don't have casinos. So, but we found ways to gamble against each other.
Okay. Like...
Oh, just random sports bets, or you take this side, I'll take this side, or doing flips against each other. I mean, we always found a way to be betting, even if we weren't playing poker.
What were there times like? I mean, it's such a communal environment to be doing that. You grew up with all these guys. Like, was it great? Was it contentious? Like, what was that like?
Dude, it was incredible.
Really?
Yeah, you're with your brothers, and you wanted everyone to win.
Yeah,
and when things were bad, they know that how low they are. Whereas like people that don't know this profession, they just kind of assume this thing's a joke. But like it is very difficult when you have to clock in and the last 20 times you've played, you've lost every single time. And you're just like, you almost have to be delusional in the sense that you're like, it's going to be okay today. It's going to be okay. And finding that balance. It's just
math though. Like if you're a winning player,
right,
that's a statistical anomaly and you have to like, it goes both ways. Like
it does.
When you start, it's almost like when you're on a heater.
Yeah.
And you're really cleaning up, like that's almost a shittier feeling because you're like, this is going to turn hard too.
Yeah. I mean, heaters are the best because you never think you're going to get off of them.
Yeah. Anytime I was that way, I was like, I liked the steady movement with like ROI. Like when it was like outside the range, you're like, fuck. It made me unsettled both ways.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. It's volatility in every way, winning and losing. So it's you have to be a weird kind of person to take that on.
I think stand up is similar to like any kind of like pro wagering or gambling or whatever, because when you're starting out, like you're an inexperienced player or whatever, and there's a lot of randomness happening of like, you don't have control over how your sets are going. Like you're going up there and you're doing the one note that you know how to do. And sometimes if you swing, you hit that ball and it like hits a home run. Other times you swing, you completely fucking miss.
Right.
And when you miss, like, and it starts steamrolling, like you're like, oh fuck, like I shouldn't do that. I got to quit or whatever.
Yeah.
And then over time you start figuring out ways to where like, you don't, like, you know how to get out of it when it starts going bad. Like, you know, you have more tools to work with, but initially that randomness of like, you have no idea how it's going to go and you wear it every time.
Is this subconscious, you think, for you? Like, or is this just you're evaluating your experiences and now it makes it easier to navigate your shows moving forward?
I think some of both. Like I talk to other comics and I think when you start, you feel like you're so like, this is just your experience. And then you talk to other comedians like, no, the whole day going into a show, I feel sick to my stomach. And like,
right.
Like I've gotten better with that. Like I don't really wear it as much unless like bigger moments, but early on, dude, I fucking was having anxiety attacks. Like and you've seen me perform live. Like I'm better. Like
you're killing it.
Now I'm better at dealing with that stuff. But initially, like my buddy Nick once saw me outside. I was like listening to fucking Dropkick Murphys, like trying to get in the right, like I was trying to like figure out ways to manufacture something in my comedy that I don't have to manufacture. Like the solution was like play your own game, like not try to be something up there you're not. But that'll probably change too. Like I'm sure
because it's just ebbs and flows, right? It's just you're just going to keep changing,
adjusting.
Yeah, as the more experience that you get.
And I don't know, man. It's such a weird process to deal with, and I do think it's that kind of like high stakes type feeling that you're chasing that adrenaline.
Yeah,
stuff like poke. I mean, That's a crazy lifestyle. Like did you think at the time you were going to be
No,
doing it for 10 years?
absolutely not.
Like how long did you even think about where it was going?
No, I just was just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into my career.
How did you get to that? Like, what were you doing that helped you improve? Because you were doing these tourneys.
Yeah, so it was a combination of experience. So the more hands I played, the better I got, kind of thing. And then it was just like, it was the knowledge of others. I ran into like a bunch of professionals from Australia, Europe, and you just kind of pick people's brains along the way. And like, you know, we're a small community. And so back in those days, people were more willing to, there's like group chats where people would talk strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You'd copy and paste a hand history, and then people would just say what they would do, kind of thing. And so it was just a really cool collective of professionals coming together, sharing strategy, kind of thing.
How small of a circle was it?
Well, it just depended. Like some of these group chats were just like, 10, 15 people. Some had like 500 people in it, kind of thing. Just all depended. Like
how many working pro poker players are there
for tournaments or cash games or everything?
Now, like how many people are pros where they're making their full living off of it?
I mean, probably tournament players. There's probably like worldwide, I don't know, a few thousand.
Damn.
Yeah. And then the cash games, there's a bunch more because it's just so much easier for
like offline stuff.
Well, no, you can play cash online, but like there's a ton of live grinders that just like go to the casino and play cash games. There'd be way more of those players than tournament players.
Is the ROI lower on that though?
No, I mean, like if you play super high stakes cash, you can make crazy money.
Mm-hmm.
I just never liked cash. It was just too much of a grind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meaning
it's just, there's no variables. Like everyone just sits down with the cash and you just like are trying to just leech money off people day in and day out. Whereas tournaments is like the formats are different. Stack sizes are different. The random factor of different players, there's so many fun elements to it.
It's more competitive.
It's very competitive. Yeah. And you're like locked in kind of thing. It's like,
do you have a rank right now?
I used to care about that kind of stuff. There's a site called Pocket Fives. I think the best I ever got worldwide was like in the top 20s or something.
Really?
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's pretty fucking rad.
But now like, I just don't care about glory. Now I'm just like, whatever.
Was there a specific tournament that like, because Joel, when he came on, he talked about the tournament he won in Costa Rica, I think. Yeah. Were you there for that?
No, that was like early days. I was still in high school.
Yeah, he was. That was before he bought the Hummer.
Yeah.
Good for you on that, Joel. By the way,
well played.
That's a great story. But, so what did you have a moment like that though? That kind of like you were in Thailand, and then like how did you go from Thailand to being like this was your professional life? Well,
my first Sunday. So Sunday for poker players that play tournaments, it's Christmas for us. It's always massive. There's a $200 buy-in on PokerStars that you could win $200K for a $200 buy-in.
Really?
Yeah. And so they have all these other events.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday, yeah. And so across all sites, all tournaments are bigger on Sunday. So It's just amazing. It's the best day ever of the week. And I decided to fire up my first tournament session. And in that day, I played I think it was like a 265 knockout or something. And I won it for like 20K. And I was like, oh my God.
Not going back in the bathroom anytime soon.
No bathrooms for me. That's exactly right. And so once I had that taste, I was like, this is it. Like tournaments are for me.
And did you continue to have success or did you?
I mean, it's just the ebbs and flows, right? Like in the 13 years I've done this now, I've had one losing year. So
really?
Yeah.
How bad of a losing
year? It was
year?
bad.
Like
real bad. A few $100K.
God damn.
Yeah. It wasn't good. but we got past it.
Yeah. And you're working the whole way through.
Yeah.
That's what people don't get. Like it's not common for you to have a losing year.
Yeah. It shouldn't happen, but I don't know. It can.
What went wrong that year?
My mindset wasn't too good. I had some stuff going on, so probably shouldn't have been playing, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was kind of this vicious cycle of I need to get out of the bin, but I'm not playing my best either. So what do you do kind of thing? And I should have taken long breaks. Instead, I was hiding myself in my work, and it was dangerous.
What, how do you manage that mindset stuff though now?
I'm way better at it now.
Like, what are specific things that you're doing to make sure that you're in a good place to be playing poker? Because that's such a weird element of
it is.
Like, you need to be like,
it's self-evaluation where you have to be really honest with yourself. And I've just gotten really good now in the middle of a session. So a middle would be like 4 to 5 hours in. Mm-hmm. I kind of subconsciously go, how are we playing today? And if I don't think I'm bringing it, I won't register anything anymore, because you start things out your day, like registering everything that's available. And then as things lose, then you fill in tables to just finish the day.
Yeah.
So I used to just blindly, from the beginning to the end, I wasn't stopping. And now I've realized that you need to know when you're like not playing A+, because the games are too hard now. If you're not playing your best, you're going to get slaughtered.
What are you noticing about yourself when you're not playing your best?
It's when I'm emotional.
Okay.
When I make decisions that aren't sound logic, that's when I know I've really cooked it.
So you're playing this like it's chess, basically. Like like
there's a lot of similarities, honestly.
Yeah, because my dad, like, he plays chess like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
and whenever he gets like the grade back when he's playing the computer, and it shows him like the mistakes he's made. Like, is there anything you have for something like for poker, or do you grade your shit? Or
I mean, I know. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people that grind over hand histories and everything. I know when I've butchered a hand, and so it'll kind of stay with you. And then I try to, like, after the day, just like remind myself of like, why were you in this place and why'd you do this?
Yeah.
Just kind of
the emotional piece though. Like, is that something that keeps coming up for you? Like it just, you have to be on alert for that.
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause it's massive decision making in a 30-second minute time span, and I'm doing it on 12 to 16 tables at once. So you got to give yourself a little grace, but if you want to be considered as one of the best, you can't really ever make a mistake. And it haunts us as poker players when we torch a spot.
God damn. So are you, when you're doing that though, like an average Sunday, do you register all that stuff and then no cell phone, no distractions, or like what is it?
People find it really annoying because they can't get a hold of me on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I have to be dialed in.
Do you have a girlfriend at the time or now? Or?
I do, yeah.
So how is that?
She just like, sometimes she'll just come hang out and watch, like she'll watch a show, and like, it's nice to just have her in the room. Yeah. Honestly, just, that's one of the things I miss now. I'm kind of a lone wolf. Mm-hmm. Whereas I used to have all these friends that I used to play with and everything. That's why the World Series, even though I was giving shit about Vegas, it was so nice seeing all these people. Because it's like, if you don't have that community around you anymore, you just feel so alone.
It's such a different, like, you're the only guy using now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a really sad way of looking at it.
No, I mean, but you came up like this is your professional life. Like, that was one of the questions I had for you, is like, realistically, how long can you do this for? Like, do you think about that, or is it just?
I mean, I'm transitioning out. It's just, I got to figure out what my next move is, you know?
Do you know what you want to do?
I know that I can't work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I have to do something.
What is your schedule right now?
Schedule right now.
Sundays you work?
So I work usually Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
And then
are those 12-hour days or?
Yeah. So when I do play, I do go hard usually, unless I decide that I'm playing like shit. And then I'll just wrap it up.
But that's still like you say you can't do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You're working 36 hours, hyper focused.
Yeah.
And getting the most out of it. Like if you applied that level of intensity to any job, you would be successful.
That's true.
But it's just the
can't work for the
simple
man.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you just don't want.
Yeah. Once you've been your own boss, it's tough.
So what do you want to do?
I don't know. Maybe do this.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, dude.
Why not?
You should definitely give stand up a try.
Yeah.
And
that'd be really cool.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, podcasting's different for sure. I think this is like episode 132 or around that. So I've done a lot of them.
Dude, that's amazing.
But yeah, I've learned a shitload. It's just fun to be able to have conversations with like anybody I want to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of podcasts, it's like, we're going to talk about Disney movies every week. And it's going to.
People do that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's super niche now.
Oh, wow.
So it used to be very broad and now it's like super niche. I don't think I can do it. Like I don't give a shit about a specific subject enough.
Yeah, no, it's fun to just kind of riff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best. So I guess I asked you about like current state a little bit. The last question before we get into the story stuff is if like you're saying you're thinking about getting out, but like, do you have any advice to people that are interested in getting into poker or interested in doing it professionally?
I would say the window is closing. It's becoming very, very difficult to become a very successful poker player. And if you do go that route, you got to really be careful about bankroll management and not playing too high.
Is the fun is that sort of out of the game now?
Oh, I still have a blast.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm still doing this. I would not be doing this if I didn't still love the game, and I still absolutely love it. I just don't know if that love ever goes away, then I'm out. But I don't know. I've been doing it for so long and still enjoying it. So
are all your friends like locally done?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so wild. That you were the
I know.
guy
I was the peasant.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one holding the flag now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Dude, it's fucking great having you on here. Let's cue up the story time music, and we'll go from there.
Perfect.
It's story time. It's story time with Phantom. Yeah, it's story time. It's story time with Phantom and friends.
That was a really nice jingle.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
I really like that.
So you can tell, I mean, you said you might have more than one or just a single story, whatever you want to do.
I think just based on how the podcast has gone, this is the most relevant story.
Okay.
So when Joel was on, did he talk about his biggest score ever in the Bahamas, the $1.2 million score where he got second?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, I'd like to share the other side of the story when this all goes down.
And this is Joel Micca. We're mentioning just because we cut these up into specific sections.
Sure.
So he was a former professional poker player.
Yep. Best friend of mine. And we were living in Thailand together and I won a package to the Bahamas. Now that's incredible, right? Like the package was a $10,000 main event buy-in. I got 10 days at the Atlantis, all paid for. I had a portfolio at the hotel, which meant that I could use the portfolio for drinks, dinners, etc.
Okay.
But the problem was I was on a 100K downswing and I only had 120K to my name, and I had lost I had like 20K to my name going to the Bahamas.
Okay.
And I'm in a $10,000 tournament.
Okay. So half your bankroll is gone.
Yeah. No. 90% of my bankroll is gone, but I've locked up this package. And so I'm going there busto effectively.
Okay.
And I tell Joel like, yeah, I'm going. And then he's like, yeah, I might go too. I was like, all right, sweet. And then all my friends were like, oh, you have a free hotel? We're coming too. We were rolling 6 deep in a 2-queen hotel room. It was insane. Like
was Joel in that place. Or did he?
No, he stayed.
He stayed in that room with you guys? That's crazy. That seems like he would get like a suite to himself.
Well, that's a spoiler because he does that later on, but we'll get to that in a bit. So we had all made a pact, all of us that were playing the main event, what day we were going to play. And so there was an A, B, and a C. And these are it was like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we all agreed we were going to play day C, the last flight. And it's the night of Monday night going into day 1B. We're supposed to have that day off. And I wake up in the morning. I'm like, guys, I'm playing the main today. I feel it. And everyone's like, dude, we all talked about how we're playing day 1C. And I was like, no, I have such a good feeling. So I get to the main event and it's going miserable to the point where it's the quickest I've ever busted a tournament of that amount before. It was $10,000. The structure, when you play these tournaments, the structure in these things are incredible. Like, you could just fold for 8 hours and still not even lose that many chips. And I found a way to light up a stack within 90 minutes of entering. And my world was just coming to an end at this point. I was so unhinged. I turned my phone off. I didn't want anyone to know I wasn't still in the tournament. So
where'd you go?
Okay. So I knew I had money in my portfolio. So I was like, okay, this Italian restaurant, I'm just going to go hang out and sink as many bottles of wine as I can.
Okay.
And so I get to the bar and they're just opening for lunch. So the place is just absolutely empty. And I just sit with this bartender and I just unleash all my insecurities and my woes to this guy. And I think I got there around 1:00 and I was nonstop drinking red wine till the evening crowd came in around 7 or 8 p.m.
Why red wine? Was it just part of the portfolio?
No, I mean, it's just, I love red wine.
Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, I've probably drank 3 bottles of red to myself. So I'm feeling pretty good. And
pretty bad and pretty good.
Yeah. Vicious combination there. And the guys just heard everything I have to say about my life. That's not good. And I like turn around and I see this really attractive blonde girl with her mom. And I was like, wow, she's incredible. And the bartender's like, dude, you're having a really shit day. Maybe go do something about it. I was like, do something? What am I going to do? He's like, dude, surprise yourself. Like, you're having the shittest day ever. What could go worse? I was like, that she denies me in front of her mom in this busy Italian restaurant in the Bahamas. And he's like, dude, just nut up. I was like, wow. All right. So
thanks, bartender.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, he was right though. Like, take some chances in life.
After you just punted all of your bankroll by taking a chance.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. But I listened to him. And I walked over and I pulled a chair from a different table and I sat down and I talked with them and it went really well. And then the mom excused herself and now I'm on this date with this beautiful girl and
you're hammered too.
Okay. So that's when things get really foggy because I don't know how we go from the restaurant to we were strolling through the Bahamas, like pool area. And I had this genius idea. I really wanted to impress her. So I tried to climb up into the shark tank and I fell down and security had to come get me. And I never saw the girl again. And I was in a wheelchair and they had to wheelchair me up to the hotel room. Mind you, none of my friends know that I've busted this 10K and security took me up to the room as they wheeled me in.
You didn't fall in the tank, did you?
No. It was really hard to climb up. That's why I fell down.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good thing I couldn't get into the tank.
I love that you use the words romantic stroll. You were hammered like man, like just.
I know. Weird how you perceive things.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In my mind, I was like Brad Pitt, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever talked to her again?
No.
Damn, that would be so great to hear her side of the story.
Because it probably sounds so much different.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like out of a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so they wheel you up to the hotel room.
Yeah, they wheel me up, and I had this one line. I can't remember it now, but everyone thought I just lost my mind. They had no idea that I was this blacked out, and everyone was like seriously worried about me. Yeah, so that was the PCA story. I didn't know that 5 days later, my best friend would go on to win 1.2 million and hand me a little slice of that pie to save my life.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
It is.
God damn. Well, it's dope. He won. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good story, right?
That's wild, man. Oh, this was fun, man. I'll have to have you come back on sometime. Like,
Definitely.
We got to get you on stage.
Hell yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down. Like, we should do it.
Tony V's Garage Monday nights. We do shows there, and anytime you want to go up, you're welcome to.
Cool. Maybe just put some material together and see what comes up.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
We've been getting a bunch of people to go up recently, and once you're up there, man, it's like a drug.
Nice.
It's dope. Is there any, before you go, I know you're not big on social media, but is there anywhere people can follow you if you want, or you're a ghost on there?
I'm a ghost.
Intentionally a ghost?
Come find me in person, please.
Yeah.
That's where I love conversing.
Yeah.
Online, meh.
So nothing to plug, but if you are watching us on YouTube, like the episode, please throw a comment in, hit that like, subscribe button, notifications bell so you don't miss our content. And then if you're just listening, rate and review us wherever you are listening, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at FNF Pod. Thank you so much for coming on, dude.
Absolutely.
We're going to leave you with Jaga.
I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. My wave pool, my wave pool. Welcome to 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 my